Okay, so we're looking for when the particle is moving from left to start to moving right, and then we want to know the total distance it travels from 0 to that time where it starts doing that. So we know that the velocity is negative means left, velocity is positive means right. We're given the velocity function. So we will go in and graph that function, which is x sine of x cubed. And it looks lovely like this. If we zoom in a little bit, we'll see that when it stops moving left would be when it's no longer negative. So it's no longer negative and becomes positive at t equals 1.845. I assume it must have said like the first time it switches from left to right, since there's a bunch of different times where that happens. But it switches for the first time at 1.845. Everybody good with that part?
Yeah.
Talking about 0 to 2. So yeah, on this interval 0 to 2. So that's clearly 1.845. So B is 1.845. V of t changes signs positive to negative at that point. And we want to know the total distance that it traveled. Well, total distance, this is always an integral of speed, and speed is the absolute value of velocity. So we're going to integrate from 0 to our b value, the absolute value of t sine t cubed dt. And if you type that into Desmos, it will tell you what that is. Looks like I forgot to put the absolute value in. That's like the important part of it. Looks like it's 1.011140. So 1.011. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
More now than it did before. Oh, good. Everybody else good with that one? Serena, you good with that back there? Yeah. Everybody else in the Zoom, good? Okay. All right, then this other one, we had a twice differentiable function where g prime is positive. So that's going to tell us g is always increasing. And g double prime is always positive. So that's going to tell us that g is concave up. It also tells us that g prime is increasing, right? And g prime represents the slopes of g. So we know that that g itself is increasing, as well as the slopes of g are also always increasing. Okay? So we know that when x was 3, the function was 12. And we know that when x was 5, the function was 18. So clearly it increased, which makes sense. And how much did it increase over those 2 units that it moved over? Well, it increased 6. So the slope here between those was 3. Right? 18 minus 12 was 6. 5 minus 3 is 2. 6 over 2 is 3. So the slope of g between 3 and 5 on average was 3 units. And so that means that at any point after x equals 5, the slope has to average out to be more than 3. Right? It can't be equal to 3 because it says that g double prime is always positive. Those slopes are always getting larger, so they must be bigger than 3. So that means that g of 6 has to be greater than 21, because if we only went up exactly 3 units, we'd be at 21, but we know we had to go up more than 3 units as we went over 1 unit from 5 to 6. So g of 6 has to be greater than 21. The only option there that includes numbers that are greater than 21 only is B, 22 only. Does that make sense now or no?
Yeah, it does.
Wonderful. Everybody else in the Zoom good there?
Yes.
Serena, you're good there? Yeah. All right. Anybody else have any other questions from any of the multiple choice? I know we did a bunch yesterday, but figure I'll give you another shot at it here. Everyone's good? All right.